Welcome to Open Minds, Open Mic, the place to be on a Friday night. We have a very special delight for you. All these beautiful creatives in the room. Um, it's open mic night tonight, no feature. That means that we are round two, round three, whatever we got. We just gonna keep going until the poetry runs out. So I'm gonna start us off with this piece that I wrote during one of our workshops. It's called Jessica, You So Cool. I only wish the best for you, my stony, dear, sweet Jessica. I think it's pretty fucking dope watching you float around so high like the ground is a lie. Not even there. Swimming in thin air. Do I dare request a kiss with the minimal amount of minerals in my mouth? So often circles of hearts surround me. Your softened vocals and parts ground me. No joke. It's so damn cool the way you move. I toke hits and slam fuel made with bits of your groove. You always seem to prove to me a few Sunday dreams grew in me. Thanks to you, blanks I drew became clear. Regained sight seer whenever you came near. Clever, cool, witty, smart. Never drool, pretty heart. Your art is amazing. The way you rearrange things, no bore outsmart blazing the sayings true strange brings, digging bones from the earth, stuff 'em in your purse, picking stones, some only worth the rebirth from you. Always score purrs from our furry kids. Hurry, it's time for some bliss that this rhyme is meant to get. So please fly by, swoop in with your sexy lips. Mwah! Ah, I wrote that just so I can get a kiss from her every time I read it.
Oh, I love it, Thomas. That is perfect. That is a beautiful poem.
Yeah,
Good
I
job.
Yeah,
wrote this at a
beautiful.
workshop we hosted and I
Beautiful.
forgot about it. I'm like, oh, it's got some pretty dope lines in it. I think I'm gonna rework it, and so I'm gonna be working on that one again and just kind of flesh it out a little more and make it a little more
I will
special.
do it. Definitely. It's a beautiful poem.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. So with that being said, first on our list we have the host of the Monday Night Chaos Magic, well, co-host, um, the Magus, Gustav, Sallas. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it, brother.
I can do. Thomas, thank you very much. Welcome, beloved poets, to Open Minds, Open Mic tonight. I almost said Chaos Magic. I did. Um, I'm going to, for International Women's Day, perform two covers. One's not technically a cover because I wrote half of it. This is from Emily Cortis's Queen of Swords, fabulous book. I wrote this with her in collaboration. The good parts are mine, the great parts are hers. This is called The Fool's Journey. The fool, earth, air, water, fire. The fool's journey appears quite dire, walking blindly off a cliff. He's optimistic, but will never know if the fool will fall to his death or live to breathe another breath. Each day is borrowed. Live your life. Transcend this plane of mortal strife. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread, or they may ascend, casting faith in new directions, journeys of 1,000 miles begun, praying that your wings will work, or trusting that in falling you will learn. Buoyed up by these same open arms, you throw out to the skies, for faith's a form of magic. Embrace it and you'll fly. Enchantment lives in everything beyond what eyes can see. Surrender to unknowing and face the mystery. The Magus, the Magus, a magician, the word beautician, syllabic incantations defying expectations, verbal wands of power, a million thoughts that flower are fragrant roses from my pen, from Kether to Malkuth and back again. A master of the pentacles with rhymes that wrap like tentacles around your brain and in your soul. Illumination is my goal. My sword of truth cuts through the air. Cosmic consciousness, a family affair. The human mind, a sacred conduit to mysteries we are bound to intuit. Like water flows from cups of gold, and fortune ever favors the bold. Embrace the emotions that you feel. Love is the only thing that's real. The lovers. Love is the path. Love is the alchemy from separateness to union, from ego to duality, from death to immortality. Beyond this earthly plane, the love we share remains an echo canyon and counterpoint against time's ceaseless refrain. Love is the law, love under will. Love is the way, the light, and the truth, a unity and harmony divine. Though common sense plays little part in affairs of the heart, we attain the highest wisdom when we love. Strength. When love and honor guide us, our spirits reach new heights, base instincts tamed, not by restraint. In peace and harmony we find our might. True warriors tend gardens, mere gardeners seed war. In our divinity we rest secure. The lion led on a chain of flowers by a woman in the fullness of her powers. Infinite energy leaps from the card. Fortitude when times are hard. Courage will light the way, and surely you will win the day. Life's tempest may unfold, in strength our center holds, an ever-constant beacon in the heavens shining forth. The star, the moon, the sun. You are my sun, the source of my light and inspiration. You are the moon, you light my night and give me insight. You are the star that guides this fool on his journey. In you I trust. I will love you till we both turn to dust. And we are made of stardust. That same hydrogen and carbon, the same stars ancestors followed in the darkness, now guide us. And the same dance of the seasons, sun and moon throughout the heavens, shapes our lives in cosmic cycles. In this endless wheel we spin upon, a boundless web in which we're all connected. The wheel of fortune. Every day is a new spin on the wheel of fortune. Step right up, test your luck, and manifest your will. O mysterious Sphinx, what divine intent dost thou have? But the Sphinx does not reply. Her response, a cryptic smile. Foolish mortals, we aspire to interpret fortune's mind, or with cards and runes divine, cheat the houses loaded die. Many fail, though all have tried. Brave or foolishly defied the limits of our agency, the hidden forces governing our lives. Will we raise arms against the sea of troubles, or in our hubris on those same swords die? The minor arcana. With this sword of truth I will to think. With this cup of water my feelings I drink. With this wand of passion I spit fire. With this pentacle of earth I am bound to this world inspired. The fool becomes the Magus, master manipulator of the elements. All is love, love under will. As above, so below, as above, so below, as above, so below. Each element in nature we possess, the mighty will not blind us by convincing us that we are powerless. The major and the minor, high and low, fool, emperor, mage, priestess, all dare to will, to know, to seek a truth that only lives within. The jester speaks this riddle. The journey ends where it begins. King, queen, knight, page, from ecstatic joy to fits of rage, masculine, feminine, the yin, the yang, the trying, the failing, the Sturm und Drang. The minor arcana's royal suits from beginning to end, the roots to the fruits. King, queen, knight, page, the journey from fool to sage. Fool's errand turns full circle, the world laid at our feet, the cards spread out before us. Yield the wisdom that we seek. One chapter ends, but even then we shuffle, cut, and deal another deck, ceaseless in our striving, tireless in our quest. For even when the path demands we leap from towers to confront our devils, we journey onward up the hill with grace and heart and reverence. Unite the elements into cosmic consciousness. Behold, this is the greatest story ever told. This is from Queen of Swords, Emily Cortis's new book. It is excellent, out on Red or Green Books. Get it. I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody
Woo!
unmute yourselves and give it up for the Magus,
Yes.
Gustav, Sallas.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Thank you.
And to Emily, who recently did a Heart of the Artist. I will actually pull up the link here while I introduce our next guest. Um, we have coming up Dre, host of the Slam Jam Saturday nights. We took a little pause. The show isn't canceled. It's just on pause for a bit. It's been amazing. It'll be back soon. Dre, if you can unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it, brother.
Finally, I'm back here. How's it going, everybody? Anyway, as my man just said there, we do have the Slam Jam that's typically on Saturdays, but we're currently on hiatus. There's a lot of things I got to figure out on my end more than anything. I would say in terms of like scheduling, because I'm currently in a job hunt, so let's just kind of go with that basically. And based on my availability, we'll work it out. But most likely, it'll be Saturday. It'll still be Saturday. Time to be determined. Return date to be determined. With that said, let's get on to the poetry. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't written much this year because things kind of like went down just kind of like all at the same time. So with that said, let me just talk about my the time I got laid off during my lunch break. This one's called Hard Times. Amazon, let me tell you a little something about hard times. As times change, some things stay the same. 39 years ago, pro wrestling legend, aptly dubbed the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, spoke of hard times in the textile and automotive industries caused by technological advancements and outsourcing. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. Hard times is witnessing you perform 2 massive layoffs last year and then giving us a false sense of hope for a couple of months before guillotining more, including myself, just now. Hard times is being unable to meet metrics due to bots performing roughly 76% of the work, significantly reducing the workload for all employees, then being told that your performance is lacking, and being written up for not making goal for 3 months. Hard times is living paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep up with inflation and bills and whatever else the Supreme Court wants to try to take away next, knowing that your life and livelihood could change in an instant, that knowledge dangling, weighing heavy like the sword of Damocles. Hard times is seeing others who have put in hard work for years and years and years, then 9 minutes into their lunch break, getting hit with the news like an RKO out of nowhere, to be given a kick in the ass and being told, hey, a computer took your place, daddy. And speaking of computers, you no longer have access to your work computer, effective immediately. That's hard times, baby. That's hard times. With that said, who is going to be correcting the bot's mistakes while you delve into economic anorexia, expelling the sustenance that has kept you thriving in hopes to cut back costs and maximize profits? How are you able to keep a pulse of your business when you've replaced heartbeats with equations? There's that piece. Now,
Yo.
another
Wow.
piece I got here,
Good
it kind of
luck.
echoes a lot more now. After some things kind of went down, on my end, like people just decided to, like, I don't know, ditch me, without getting my side of anything. So with that said, here is I Don't Belong in New Hampshire. I don't belong in New Hampshire. I don't belong to live in a state that has always treated me differently from birth to today. I don't belong to live in a state. I don't belong in a state that has always treated me differently from birth to today. I don't belong to live in a state that placed me in a special reading group in elementary school because I lived in a home with Spanish speaking parents. I don't belong to a state that allows under the table corruption to ruin my chance of becoming student council president in high school. I don't belong to a state that denied my deceased best friend his graduation diploma despite having paperwork that has proved his intent to graduate. I don't belong to a state that allows their employer to write me up for something I didn't say, but more so in the way I looked, a victim of not having the complexion for their protection. I don't belong to a state who gave all their electoral votes to Hillary Clinton when Bernie Sanders soundly defeated her in 2016 and still demands the first in a nation presidential primary election because it's the only claim to fame because that old man fell off that mountain. I don't belong to a state who allowed Bob Baines and others to rid the states of higher education, art schools, and institutions. I don't belong to a state that makes it impossible to secure decent mental health care for any Medicare and Medicaid members. I don't belong to a state that doesn't care about fairness, art, mental health, and homelessness. I don't belong to a state that allows police to send 2 canine units and attempt to sniff out drugs several times, only to find absolutely nothing in a Latino man's car in my parking lot, mind you. I don't belong to a state that simply doesn't give a fuck about me and my well-being. I don't belong to a state that doesn't get, excuse me, I don't belong to a state that doesn't have a single Cheesecake Factory location. I don't belong to a state where I am guilty without trial. I don't belong to a state that has never felt like home. Thank
Ooh, I feel you on some of that, man. I don't want to belong to that state either. Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Dre.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Some deep
What
shit.
enrollment? Hello. Wow, that was good. Woo.
All right. So coming up next on the list for the first time. Oh, they dropped out. Maybe they're trying to reconnect because they disconnected. Let's just wait a moment here, see if we can get Shawnee back in. Um, there's not many people here tonight, so we can wait a minute or so, right? It's their first time here. Because I seen they had left just before because they knew they were next, and then tried to join in on a different device. So they're probably panicking, trying to get, oh, I want to make sure they can hear me and all that. And we've been there, right? So let's just give them a moment, and then if not, we'll move on to Hayes, and we'll keep Shawnee available for the next slot when they come back. Uh, yeah. Sorry, we'll go ahead and go on with Hayes, and then we'll keep Shawnee available for the next open slot. Hopefully they come back. They sounded like they had some poetry to read to us, and we love hearing new people. So in the meantime, Hayes, thank you so much for your generous donations. Um, that that got us to where we're at right now. Like without that, we wouldn't have made it, bud. Like you tipped the balance to get us to where we're at now, and we're somewhere safe, building up to get ready for the next league of our adventure. And the world had a different path for us, so we're gonna take a different path, and everything happens for a reason. So, Hayes, if you could bless us with some words, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm glad you and KataLyst are doing okay. We all been thinking about you. We wouldn't be here without you. I know I wouldn't be here, and I really depend on you guys in this place, like, tremendously. So thank you. So I thought I would read a poem that I wrote, and then I would cover Mary Oliver poem. Um, so I found this one from like a year and a half ago. Um, and I was surprised to realize that I really liked it. This is called Father Song number 2. And then the unwelcome spine-led awareness that there will one day future come, a wind without your sullen stoicism. The rain carries no petrichor of your reveries, sitting hunched over in the dark, alit by a miner's lamp, carving away at some idea on the whetstone of your thoughts. One day the oxygen will leave Earth, and I will know you are gone. Not this surrogacy of gone, but the true, vile, unbreakable simplicity. Gone, gone, so gone, I know it before you could even say the word aloud. I feel it like some great, terrible train rumbling above me, the spectacular gulf. I chose my self-respect over my father. Yet honor thy father and thy mother, so that thy days are long upon the land. Yet death before dishonor. Where then do I go? But do I walk the streets, etching madness into the eyes of all who see me? Can I enter some field wild enough to find you? So that's my poem. And this is my favorite.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, etching madness into the eyes of all who see me. Fucking great line amidst a bunch of great lines, Hayes. Just kick ass.
Thank you guys. All right, my favorite Mary Oliver poem. I don't know if this one's like a famous one or whatever. I'm kind of new to Mary Oliver, despite I know she's a juggernaut, but I'm just kind of new to her myself. But my favorite by her is Stebbins Gulch from Blue Horses. By the randomness of the way the rocks tumbled ages ago, the water pours. It pours ever along the slant of downgrade, dashing its silver thumbs against the rocks, or pausing to carve a sudden curled space where the flashing fish splash or drowse, while the kingfisher overhead rattles and stares. And so it continues for miles. This bolt of light, its only industry to descend and to be beautiful while it does so. As for purpose, there is none. It is simply one of those gorgeous things that was made to do what it does perfectly and to last as almost nothing does, almost forever. Thank you.
Yo, everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for Hayes, baby.
Yeah, Hayes, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Woohoo! Yeah.
Yeah, that first piece she read, you said you pulled back from like 2 years ago. Fuck, there were so many just deep line, like really hard hitting, heavy lines in there, and I'm glad that you chose to read that with us tonight, man, because that was dope, man. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna have it's gonna be like a full trilogy. I got a first and a third part, so thank you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to hear it all. Speaking of that, loving to hear it all with everything. We're gonna start booking for our next features coming up. We got open mic tonight, and the next Friday we got features. We have someone on the list that's going to be a possible. Hopefully we get them. If not, I'll be sending out messages to people. If you would like to feature, shoot me a message on IG. Yeah, we got to start booking up and getting flyers made and all that, because if we do hit the road again soon, we want everything scheduled and posted and the show rolling. So, all right, let's keep the show rolling. And another very wonderful, wonderful soul, Terry Rose. Terry, thank you so much too for your donations. You've kept us going. You've kept a little gas in the tank, a little food in the belly to push us to our next spot, and we really appreciate you for that. Like, and just the blessings too. Like for those who haven't been able to donate financially, like just the love that you guys have been giving us. Like this adventure has been so blessed. Like the synchronicities that I could tell you guys about are amazing. So before we pull off on Friday, I find this envelope inside of a Ziploc bag, right? And it's stuck between in our back thing before the blizzard. So it was like right after we got the truck kind of there, and before it started blizzarded too much for us to get packed up. I like white, I'm clearing the snow off the car, getting it ready, pack up and stuff. And I see this little envelope and I open it up and there's this card in there that says, "Things may seem challenging, but we believe that the true place to seek hope is in Jesus. You are not alone, as he is always with us. Watch The Chosen be inspired." So I'm guessing The Chosen is a show or something. Be inspired. And then along with
The
this
story of
beautiful,
Jesus, and it's on Prime. And it's
yeah.
really good. Actually, it's very well done. But go
Uh,
ahead. Sorry.
and so I think it might have came from the pastor who bought us a battery for, a brand new battery to get us going on the road, really helped us out. But he didn't sign it, right? So because it's just from the church, right? So it could have been from me. It could have been from Jesus himself. We don't know. But along with this was $100 bill. And that filled our tank to get us going around town, get all our supplies and get ready to go. Like that really started this journey. So I want to give a big shout out to the Bergen Church, Pastor Rob Holland. Thank you
That's a
for all the
beautiful
blessings that you've
story.
done.
Just a beautiful story, Thomas.
Uh,
Many blessings to you.
and like not even that, but like we've been, I've been leaving my little bit of change here. Oh, I'll pay for the next guy, $1.60, whatever, and you know, uh, cars flipping and people surviving, and just like it's been a wild adventure, but everything has worked out, in the best way. So coming up next, though, I'm sorry to take up the time, but we have like not many people. I know, but we have not many people, and I know people want to hear updates on what's going on. So
But wait till you're done introducing people.
Okay.
I love you.
My wife's yelling at me because I was rambling.
No, I was gently nagging.
Gently nagging, she says. She was gently nagging.
There's a difference.
Yeah, all right. Terry, I've loved you since the first moment we met. We stayed up all night talking. Yeah, if you could bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it.
And we wrote a song.
Yeah,
We've been busy doing stuff.
right? We've been doing things.
Right. We're doing that thing. Okay. I got some short pieces on this because I got to get out of here in 15 minutes. A better world contains more love. A better world is when there is home for every family. A better world is one that suffers no hunger, sickness, disease. A better world is one where humanity is valued, regardless of who they are or what they choose to be. A better world is a place where we are free. So that's a short one. And this is a really good line, and it's probably somebody else's, but I'm going to read it anyway because I found it in my book, but I probably got it. It's just, if you guys know who said this line, let me know. I used to be a purveyor of words until I wasn't. My words were only worth 2 cents. So if anybody knows who wrote that, let me know because I want to give that person credit. It's probably somebody famous because it's a great line. And I'm going to read this piece that's a Halloween piece that I read when I was actually fully dressed in the corpse bride makeup and wig and everything else. The mole on my chin is gone. It was described as a beauty mark by my mother when I was a child. It was tiny at first, almost invisible. But as I grew older, it got bigger and a small hair grew out of it. This reminded me of my grandmother, who had what she called whiskers sprouting from her chin. There were many, but she used to pluck them out. I began this process of plucking, and the one hair turned into two. One day, still under the assumption that this was a beauty mark, my doctor said to me, I could burn that thing off. And I was like astonished that he noticed and volunteered to do this. It was one of the many times I began to question something my mother once told me. He called it a mole. Moles were, in my mind, associated with old, ugly witches from fairy tales. I quickly decided to let him do just that. The process was painless for the most part, and afterwards there was a barely visible scar. Later, after a year or so, a single white whisker appeared in its place.
I love that. That was amazing. Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Terri Rose.
Woo,
Terri, yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So dope. So dope.
Oh, listen, come to karaoke on the last Saturdays of the month, and in about 15 minutes, I don't want to pull anybody out of here, but I gotta go. I'm going to be on a live with AJ. I
Oh,
don't know if you know
nice.
AJ. Yeah.
Yeah. I met AJ.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Well, thanks for coming and
Have
blessing us with those
fun.
pieces. Those are
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Have fun. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. We love you, Terri. All right. Coming up next on our list, we've got Karen Melander-Magoon. Karen, you inspire me. If you could bless us with some words, I would appreciate it. You're muted though. Yeah, right?
There, I'm mute.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much. I've been really enjoying this. And I wrote something um, about, because today is International Women's Day. So I'm going to start with that. I just wrote it and you can see what you think about it. When the UN proclaimed an International Women's Day, some objected. Some complained that one day for women was too little. Perhaps Mother's Day was too little as well, although it preceded Father's Day and occasionally celebrated Children's Day. There is a song, What a Difference a Day Makes. Yet the meaning is not in the day, but the moment, not even the moment, but the history that precedes it, the meeting, the connection, the love that makes one day special. Each day has its uniqueness, its opportunities, its epiphanies. The United Nations celebrates days so that we remember persons or moments, meetings, connections, love. Women's Day is not so much about women as about all of us, celebrating beginnings, celebrating life begun in women, through men, through ages, Neanderthal to hominid, female incarnation, molded through beginnings beyond male and female, resting on patterns and images, molecules and metamorphosis, genesis and genetics from womb to womb, history regenerating spirit, incarnate in humanity, holy threads of soul, weaving a tapestry, a magic carpet upon which we all may ride and celebrate our birth, our life, our existence, and our gratitude simply for being born of woman and of love.
Wow.
So I
Don't touch it, don't edit it, don't do nothing. That is
That was
perfect. That was
beautiful.
so
Oh, go
beautiful.
No, that
women.
was great.
Thank you.
I
Thank
loved
you.
it.
Great work.
Okay, wow. Because I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm having this reading at the North Beach Library in San Francisco that I've kind of organized. And I think there are about 12 poets. For all I know, there'll be just 12 people there. You never know about that. But it's for International Women's Day, which is basically today, but the library didn't have time till tomorrow. So I wrote that for that tomorrow.
That's just such an
Anyway,
amazing piece, and I love the angle that you took too, where it's not just about women, but it's all of us. Like us humans wouldn't
yeah,
be
I
here if it
mean,
wasn't for women. Like you women
exactly.
have kept it going. Men can die out, this and that, because we can't. So it's always been a
Yeah, I
woman
don't think
there to.
so.
But I mean, there's always been one continuous mother, right? Because
Yeah,
us men
no,
can't
that's
give birth. We can't create life. So it's always been one continuous mother. So women
we
really
women have to
have,
remember that we're very
yeah.
dependent on men too.
Well, that too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we work together as a whole,
Exactly.
It takes two sides to make a whole, right? So
Right, right, absolutely. So anyway, this is from my book, The Earth Turns, and it's the first poem. The sky is wide and gray, a veil of silence visited by birds. Plunging to its icy depths, flying soft feathers transformed into stars. As night descends, she wraps her veil quietly around her sparkling guests. Dark at 2, silence, too soon awake, and yet the silence vibrates. Chill envelops timelessness of incipient morning as the earth turns. The sky now dark yet blue, her edges to the east uncover golden filaments. Stars hide shyly, sliding back into a bowl of light to visit other worlds, while birds awake and turn the disappearing twinkles into song. So that's the beginning of my Earth Turns. And then I have something really, well, it's kind of along the lines of stuff that we've been hearing today anyway, a little bit along the lines of gratitude, God. Anyway, I'm saying God is lonely. God is lonely. Children are starving. They are still caged at the border. They still drown on their way to freedom. God's family of humanity is estranged. God's family of humanity is lost, looking for grace, looking for God, who gave them sight. Yet they have created their own blindness and cannot comfort God in loneliness. God looks in love upon the world as parents observe their children, wishing them well, and yet sees violence and hate. The children must learn to remedy, must learn to change, for they themselves are the love God seeks in loneliness. Thousands of years ago in Peru, people drew an enormous cat on the famous Nazca line, perhaps hoping God would see it and be less lonely. They also drew a huge hummingbird, a monkey, and a spider, big enough for God to see and laugh, knowing they could not remove God's worries, could not bring justice to the world, but thought perhaps a large cat on the hills of Nazca might help. Okay, thank you very much. Do you all know? I didn't know about it until I read about the Nazca lines, but they're huge, these
oh
huge
yeah.
things that people did
Well, the
thousands of
most
years
impressive
ago.
thing about all that is not just the lines, but the fact that one of the mountain tops, they
Mm-hmm.
completely sheared off and it's
Mm-hmm.
flat. And it's like hundreds of thousands of tons of earth that they cleaved away, and they don't even like a lot of the rubble that's down on the side of the mountains isn't even from the top of the mountain. So they're like, what do they even do with it? And so it's mind blowing, and I love how you put that into like as if it was them like telling, hey, it's okay. Look, we drew some monkeys and some spotters, right? Like, laugh it up a bit. Like, that
Yeah,
was
right.
such beautiful work as always, and that's why I say you inspire me. You truly do, Karen.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope tomorrow's event goes so wonderful, and I hope that that poem is
I
just as
will
well
put
received
the
as it is.
details into the chat, but it's at the North Beach Library, which is on Lombard and Mason and Taylor. I think,
Yeah.
it's
That's
right up there, that
quite a few hours
corner.
away from me. I would be there. Okay.
Well,
We will be there
only if
soon.
you're in San Francisco or maybe Oakland is it worth it to come. But it's just going to be a
Oh, if I
small
was in
event.
Washington, it'd be worth it to come. I'd start driving now. I'll get there in time.
No, no, no. I don't think so. But
Hayes and
anyway,
Debbie are in Berkeley. Maybe they can make it.
yeah,
Oh, there you
Berkeley,
go. Yeah. And
possibility.
Debbie too. Yeah.
But
Maybe they can.
then take some time to really enjoy the city, because we're kind of, you know, we need to go to Berkeley more often, and Berkeley should come to us. We're,
There you
it's
go.
just a bridge
Soft
between
culture.
us.
I
Anyway,
love
thank
going
you
to
very
North
much.
Beach. North Beach is one of my favorite places on this earth to be. So put the
Thank you,
details
Debbie.
in. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you, everybody. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Coming up next, this show would have been hosted from his living room had it not been for a kerfuffle at the border. So we're in BC. We're gonna instead go across Canada and petition to get Jess back in the States, and we're gonna go down the East Coast. We thought we could start with Z, but I guess you gotta start with A, which is Abbotsford, and that's where we tried to jump the gun and start with Z, and it didn't work. The university, I was 35 minutes. He lives 35 minutes from the border. I was 35 minutes away after hours and hours of treacherous driving through snow and mountain passes. And at one point, Jess was just riding the brake, skiing down the mountain, just hoping that, we didn't hit a ditch or the wall, right? And so, Zach, thank you so much. Before we leave here, too, if you want to jump in the RV once we're ready to hit the road, like, we would love it if you come with us, man. Do some thinking once we, don't, just keep it in the back of your head and
Come
we'll
visit
figure
me.
things out. Where are you at?
You know
Who
where
was
I'm at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, we're definitely gonna come visit you. Actually, probably if we can get the petition done before that, we can drop down, whoop, hop, and then drop
Boom.
up and then go
Bang.
around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But
So
yeah, Zach.
Thomas, what's happening? You're gonna have to, like, can you get across the border? What's going on?
So so we had a, a little kerfuffle at the border. And basically, Jessica cannot enter the United States until she submits a petition and they approve it. I'm thinking about contacting the embassy to like fast track the petition. We had to be diverted up now to her father's house, which is good because we get to heal that bond again and spend some quality time. Help him out here at the house, get the house set up nice, get him all working on the internet and stuff. And so like life has its reasons it does things, right?
So
And the best,
you're housed with family right now.
yeah,
Oh, thank the gods and
yeah, because we
goddesses.
spent a few nights in the car trying to figure out what to do, and then
Oh,
we
yeah.
found a place to store all our stuff, and then dropped out the trailer. Now we have a warm bed, well, a warm floor to sleep on with blankets that we got. So it's good enough, right? It's better than the truck. But yeah, we're just gonna, take a different route. We were gonna come down the West Coast. Now we're going across Canada and then coming down the East Coast, right? Which makes more sense because summer's about to hit. I'd rather be up in Canada during the summer and then up, down in the winter for the South. But yeah, I keep doing these long intros now just because I missed y'all. I missed y'all last Friday. I haven't even got to watch the feature from last Friday. God, I'm sure Kevin and Grave Uncle just killed it, man. Like I'm so excited to watch. Yeah, I'm so excited to watch it, man. Um, but yeah. So Zach, if you could bless
Hey.
us with some words, brother, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've been thinking a lot about it. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't like 75% on board at this point in time. I'm gonna keep thinking on it. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with my stuff, but it's been a long time since I've done something like that. Years ago, I hitchhiked up and down the coast, painting at festivals and
Right? Like, let's just
selling
fucking
art
do
and
it,
doing my
man.
thing, and I missed that life, It would be great.
Well, it's good to have three drivers on rotation, so you can boop, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm not allowed to drive for medical reasons. But for brain meat stuff, But that's a whole other story. But I got something old for you and something new for you. I placed a white suit of surrender upon hopeful skin, and then knelt down in a mud of crisis. I threw my head back with laughter as I looked toward the clouds of illusion, and they whispered a message of return. Rain will greet me soon, and wash away this filth placed upon my now dirty suit. As soon as the first drop kissed my nose, I knew that cleansing feeling, like I knew the scars on my soul. It was something I could never forget, and I never wished to do so. I stand now, soaked by the rain, yet clean, once more. But I will be dirty again, and just as the cleansing rain will return, rinse and repeat until I'm done with this human cycle.
All I've done with this human cycle.
All right. I got something new for you. There's actually have three different versions of this poem. I just used the first line and then just like made a new poem, so I ended up liking what I made basically. And so I'll read you the last one. In the twilight of transcendence, darkness dances with the blinding light of nothing, and the doors of the cosmos swung open. I floated through the river of creation, and then embraced the rapids and drowned in my inkwell. I emerged from the surface, one with the pen. I cast no stones, swing no sticks. Only healing words can leave me. End poem.
Wow. Everybody
Wow.
unmute yourselves and give it up for Zach,
Woo!
man.
Zach, you're
Yeah,
getting
you are
so
truly one with
good.
the pen. Yes, one with
Yeah,
the
you're
pen.
getting really good. You're getting good.
Thank you, thank you.
Love it.
So dope, man. Oh, I wish I was in your living room right now. But I guess the universe just works the way it does, you know. We just gotta keep going by it.
We'll come around soon.
Yeah. And I believe in that and I trust in that because of the fact that the universe brought me and this next poet together. I just absolutely love you, Sophia, and I'm so glad that you're here. And if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Cool. Oh, my parts are okay. I'm glad I stopped making some noise. Then we can get to it. I have two free rights to share. One's dedicated to Gatorade powder. Why not? I'm gonna read that second, okay? So free rights for me is this pen going. Didn't do anything to it yet. So yeah, it's in its very, how do I say it, preliminary stage of life of the poem. So okay. So thank you for having me back in the space. So this working title is titled Selfish. Can I even take a chance on myself? The one who left, stealing my own heart as a handbag, stuffing in my hope and my light, off to a distant, unidentified cave, dancing with the inhabitants who painted the unimaginable. He says he sees it in my eyes. I feel it in my stomach. My tears are no jewels, and when I heard a song regarding frogs, I almost cried and cried because where am I in this lifetime or timeline, or what poet bruises the hell out of their own writing hand purposely and doesn't care and writes on and carrying on and writes some more? She said, she'll hold myself. Well, I cannot. I told her I've lost everything. She disagreed. While I was rocking the gold basketball shorts, fool's gold dripping down from the ceiling as he's squealing and stealing, while the self is now amongst the crowd in the cave, now wearing gold earrings, shimmering. Thank you.
Wow. You have another piece for us?
Yeah.
Everybody,
Okay.
before this other piece. Wow. Right?
I love how that poem ended.
Wow, really, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a second one is sort of goofy. I need some humor, I guess.
The Gatorade powder.
Here we go, diving into
You be
the
cracking me up,
Gatorade
yo. I
powder.
fucking love you.
Okay, here we go. Crumbling is my blue Gatorade power that the pixies like to roll themselves in dust to sprinkle amongst the sidewalk to create an army of ants on their side, commanding with them their sticks. Those fiery ones can bite. Ain't no firefighter whose role is to put out them and their leaders to heed this micro level destruction before it enters the macro. The garden gnome knows, sees and perceives, but cannot move, planted there, rooted his home on the brink of a blink of an eye, vanished, though he enlisted fairies to discipline the pixies, hypnotize them, and put their yellow hats on, and pointed the sprinklers at an army of ants, washing them away, a scene in history erased from the record books, except for in the black plastic eyes unflinching. Thank you.
That was so dope to what the
I
pixies
love
wrote.
that.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Everybody on mute and give it
Thank
up
you.
for Sophia Falco.
That was
Thank you.
great.
Falco! Yeah. Who would have thought a great poem about Gatorade powder? Right on.
Right?
And it was so good. It's great.
She could take anything and turn it into a wonderful poem. I think that'll be our new challenge. We all just send like a random, just inanimate object or whatever, just the dumbest shit ever that you can ever write a poem about, and send it to Sophia. She'll come up with this masterpiece about this object, right? Uh, all right. Thank you so much for that. Coming up next, we got Debbie Segal. Debbie, I love you. If you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, we great.
Oh, I love you too. I'm going to read off my screen something I just finished typing up, which was why I was like busy typing in the background. Let me read it right now. Time's arrow. I get tired of hearing people say, let things take their course. Things trend toward entropy. Energy disperses and dissolves, devolves. Somewhere, someone is making a mistake. Furniture is getting dusty. Relationships are ending. Observe a steam engine, then calculate. Where does heat go? Energy of the universe is constant, and entropy tends to a maximum. As each moment passes, things change, and once done, never are they undone. Stirring a spoon of jam into porridge, make raspberry trails. Stir backwards, the raspberry jam won't come together again. Entropy is the difference between what already happened and what is to be. Time's arrow. And I have another, which isn't even typed up. I'll read it out of my completely little
Yo,
notebook
you
thing.
just wrote that? That is
No.
dope.
I wrote that a couple days ago. I just typed that. But
Oh,
here's
you
one
typed
I
it. Okay.
just wrote. Here's one
Oh,
I
we got even
just wrote.
fresher ink. Okay, cool.
Okay, it's like still like scribble scrabble. And this is after Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a homolinguistic translation of a small Thich Nhat Hanh piece. I'll read his piece first, and then I'll read mine. Okay, so he writes, being young is like sweet sunshine flooding the summer sky, quiet noon. Years and months are just the expressions of earth. Why take note of the never-ending seasons? Thich Nhat Hanh. So I took that and I wrote, whippersnapper existence is a luscious aurora, streaming in dog days firmament, tranquil apex, time out of mind, in every respect, worldly assertions. Pay no mind to the perpetual ripening. Youth mellows into a lifetime by and of itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for Debbie Segal.
Debbie, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Debbie.
That was really good. Thank you.
Can't wait to get Edwin in the Embrace of Entropy. Can't wait to get your book.
Text me your address.
Oh,
Will do.
a pre-release there. All right. So coming up next was gonna be round two, but then all of a sudden this amazing soul just entered the room. Teresa Gallion. You came literally at the perfect time. You got to hear the ending of a beautiful poem, and then you get to read. So if you could, I know you might not be prepared. Hopefully you are. Yeah, if you could bless us with some words, we would appreciate it. You're muted. We're trying to get down mute. No. Oh, we still can't hear you. Let me see if I
I'm
can do it.
sorry.
Oh,
Can you hear
there.
me now?
Oh, yeah, we
forgot
got you now. Oh, thank
forgot to unmute. I apologize. I was saying I'm sorry I'm late. I had intended to get here earlier, but I just got home and I wanted
Well,
to
you
get in
literally
before it was
came in
too
at the
late.
perfect time. Yeah, it was. We were about to start round two and loop around, and you got to hear the end of a beautiful poem, and then you came at the
Yeah.
perfect time.
Hello to all you beautiful people. It's been a while. I've been on the road, but I'm home for a little while. And my
On
book
the
is about
road,
to
I see the pictures. You been having fun.
my book is about to drop. It's actually going to drop on time. Come Egypt will be available April the 1st. So I'm going to read a piece from Come Egypt. It's called Redemption. Take your eyes to the tears laundry. Wash them well. Go back on deck. See the world in a new light. Blood streams down your face. I want to touch you, but no, I cannot expose what is forbidden. You are an image of me in the window of my past lives floating down the Nile River. The marriage of water and light pulls me close to the river. I want to touch purity in that union, but cannot bear to embrace it. The memory is too painful. Perhaps next time when the scar feels less tender. My desires stand in shadows, stoking fires burning inside me, working to expand my fears. Now I understand the gift of stubbornness. I shall not be ruled by fear ever again. The goddess of the river smiles as we ride currents, celebrating my insights. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you have a second one for us too?
I can read a second one.
Oh yeah, we'd love to hear it.
Okay, this is also from Come Egypt. It's called What Bodies? Did someone put up a for sale sign on sand-buried tombs with an asking price no one could fold arms around? The mummies of the pharaohs pulled from their tombs tremble for the souls that left them thousands of years ago. Subjected to the hawk eyes of curious humans, there is nothing to save them now. What bodies do the pharaohs possess in the 21st century? Do they feel the pain of ages when they look at the bodies left so long ago? Did they participate in the unearthing of tombs to discover their old bodies? Or did they become Egyptologists in today's historic arena, fascinated by the past lives they may not recognize? We know the concept of digging is also a human concept, just like other animals. It's called curiosity, sometimes peppered with greed in humankind. Thank you.
Miss Teresa, that is beautiful. Thank you so much
Thank
for that.
you.
Yeah,
Everybody,
terrific
unmute
work,
yourself
Teresa.
and give
Wow.
it up for Teresa Gallion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all. It's so great to see you all again.
And how was your
Thank you
time down
too.
there? She said, "Oh, I've been on the road." She was down in the islands having a good old time with monkeys and stuff. Like, oh, it was great. How we watched it.
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right. So now before we start off round two, we actually have one more poet in here who would like to read. Mattie. Mattie, aka Matilda, aka Baby, aka my sister. If you could bless us with some words, I greatly appreciate it.
I just wanted to cover a girl poem since it's International Girls' Day.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have two poems to cover. This one's called Entropy by Tracy Knapp. All those times I crossed the bridge to see you and not one lap dance. We haven't held hands since that time in the rainforest, chanting Lord knows what in Sanskrit. I saw my first wild boar there, but even he took off for the brush. Someone always ends the moment. Another call dropped on your iPhone, the cosmic forces at work. My dog sighs and stares at my flip-flop from his pillow. At work, the office is separated into orderly earth tone cubes. My friends, we gather here today to sit exactly 10 feet apart, I am exactly 1 hour away from being drunk enough to call my psychic in Tuscaloosa, 2 commercials away from another headache and Nova on TV. The universe expands, shifting its contents accordingly. There was a time when we were closer. Helen Keller learned to speak by holding her teacher's face, feeling the words form and fall out of her mouth, the throat buzzing with thought. I also like to touch people while they talk, but not about professional sports. I love and hate eye contact, don't you? One glance from the Girl Scout and I get Thin Mints. I don't get all that crap about divine connection, but there is something to be said about a collective consciousness if you consider how everyone likes vampires again. If I had a spirit animal, I think it would be a wild boar. We never talk about it anymore, and I miss that about us. The only thing that could prevent a greater distance forming between 2 stars hurtling through space would be some entropic net, a giant wet towel. While you're crossing the state line on your last gallon of gas, a street light deteriorates over the Safeway parking lot. A shopping cart rolls into my dog chow and the whole bag splits open, the pellets skidding and colliding across the pavement. 2 strangers scrambling to gather them, to fill the bag together, to make it right. Boom.
Yeah, if you can too, post a artist name
Wow.
in the chat so people can
Women.
look them up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Baby,
women.
women. That's
If it
beautiful.
wasn't for y'all, none of us would be here, man. Y'all keep the
Yay.
world going.
Yeah, you, Thomas.
Do you have another cover for us, or did you want to do that on the second round?
Oh man, I do have another cover. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I love you. Thank you. Okay, so this poem's called Two Twin Beds. It's by Ollie Schminke. Ollie Schminke is a spoken word poet who I really fucking like. However, this poem, I'm giving a trigger warning because this is about a heavy topic that unfortunately lots of women experience. It's called Two Twin Beds. My partner and I sleep on 2 twin beds pushed together so we can pretend we own a bed big enough for the both of us. Sometimes when we move in our sleep, the beds slide farther away from each other and we wake up with this gaping hole between us. Last night, she found me crying in our kitchen. She offered me her hands like a glass of warm milk with honey, but my sadness requires no soft touch. I've cried often enough in my life that it is no longer exciting or dangerous. I am grateful my partner has never been raped. I am grateful her mouth has never turned more ash than tongue, but sometimes it is so lonely feeling worthless all by myself. When I talk about the sickening feel of him that lingers even 4 years later, her eyes are a sky full of pity. Pity, the emotion that feasts while it talks about the starving. She doesn't have to leave the theater during the rape scene. The trigger warning does not apply to her. It is so easy to talk about what a shame it is when you've never had to feel ashamed of claiming the word survivor, which is to say that the most difficult thing about her day is what to choose for breakfast sometimes, which is to say that sometimes I wake up and there is so much distance between us. There is only the hardwood floor where I thought her body would be, which is to say I love her, but my life is a shitty job she's never been poor enough to keep. Suffering is not a contest. There is no prize if I win. There is nothing romantic about the scars on my hip bones, but there is a language barrier. Our difference strangles every conversation. We go to buy groceries, and each man at the bus stop wears my rapist's face. She says the word love a little too forcefully, and his hands are pushing me down. How do I explain to her that a Buick is not just a type of car, it is a graveyard? That I can't have sex with the lights on because I will be able to see him there? How do I explain to her why our room is always so dark? When she talks about high school, she talks about the boys whose inexperienced hands didn't know how to touch a body. And all I can think about is how he couldn't keep his hands off me. My God, how do I explain to her that sometimes crying and having sex feel like the same thing? But loving someone means inventing your own language. It means turning herself into a basement during the tornadoes, turning herself into a safe space. It means turning her hands into a question and turning her hands away when the answer is no. In this new language, we erase pity and write in empathy. I do not need her to be sorry. I just need her to be listening. In this new language, we call trigger just an excuse to see another side of me. We call distance an excuse to rearrange geography. We call crying catharsis. The way after good sex or a good cry, I feel so tired I could just collapse. I know the sadness is not an easy one. This conversation is not an easy one, but easy and worthwhile are not synonyms. So we'd wake up in the middle of the night and push our beds back together. Home.
That was beautiful. Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Mattie.
That was heavy. Great read, though. Wow.
And sadly enough,
Intense
there's so
piece.
many women that go through that. And
Love you guys. Thank you for letting me read that. I've been wanting to read that here for a few weeks, so thank you.
Love you back, baby.
yeah, definitely. All right, so let's keep this thing rolling. We're gonna go to round 2. So I guess that means I'm up. And since it is International Women's Day, I figured I'd read a poem that I wrote for my mother. She's in the room. I might as well do it, right? Should I read a poem for you? I'm trying to, I'm trying to kill time if you guys haven't noticed to get it pulled up. But hold on. Here we go. All right. It's called Mom, I Love You. I wanted to write a poem for someone special to show 'em how much they mean to me, but it seems to be nearly impossible to encapsulate 38 years of unconditional love. How do I thank her for the gift of life? All the time she held me tight, the chicken soup when I was sick, each time she gave me encouragement. How could I ever capture with words? I profess it through birds, beautiful soothing sounds from nature, the nurturing care, a poetic nomenclature. I asked the creator for the verbs to use. They simply responded, there's too many to choose. Pondering on how to show my gratitude, searching my heart for emotions to include. Oceans of memories wash over my soul, writing the perfect poem, my goal. But how? There's no language to use. I gave it my all, so I simply let loose just 4 magic words. Mom, I love you.
Oh, Tom, I love you too, honey. I love you. That is so beautiful. I listen to that one over and over. I have it on the
Yeah,
record. I just
I,
when I miss you, I play it. I love
I
it.
love you, Mama. All right, and then the one I was gonna read too, might as well do too. Um, I want to read this more because memorizing a poem is very hard, especially one as complex as this. And memorizing it for a slam, like I could read it to myself all day, but like there's something about performing it live and having that like jitteriness in you, and then like nailing it, it really helps it sink into the head, right? So when you fuck up, you're like, oh, I fucked up there, and then you'll fix it, right? So I'm just gonna go with it. It's called I Remember. My mind unwinding, finding clues I left behind me, designed for my uprising. I choose the breath inside me, lined by undying views of a muse who sat beside me. Knowledge I held tight to, language I spelled right through, image I excelled my sights true, through pieces of my past life into speeches that I cast live. A few breaches in my glass eye review teachers as I pass by. I grew true glitches stitched in space time to expand my mind in lieu of bass vibes. Sincerely, who knew? The hinges had been swinging freely, briefly, allowing wishes to seep deep into reality. Clearly astounding, these glimpses creep around me. It's beginning to allow me to see how we fit existing in the now beat. I sit emitting a resounding bright light that surrounds me. insisting I might take flight. Proudly, loudly I sound off, tossed a few words into the sky while I fly around lost, spew 2/3 of my mind at no cost to you or whoever happens to cross paths with the version of me rapping about these diversionary tactics, certain words to make 'em backflip. I classically spit magic, burden birds who passively flew past it. I sarcastically chew plastic, surge into Earth's passage, manage to do damage, artistically, rhythmically laughing about all the past lives I was trapped in. The one known as no one knows what happened. I fashioned a glowing orb from a flowing storm so I had something to pass him for hunting crass hymns, transmitting Gnostic vision by twisting optic ribbons. I remember being born on more than one occasion, a defender who was sworn to warn all of the neighbors. I render my physical form based on all the greatest. Am I the bravest or a sadist? Flipping through all life's pages, I found out we're all made with the same sound vibration. I blame ground displacement for lame unbound migrations. Salutations, my friends, with all my love and appreciations. Thomas Omar.
Yeah, I love that piece. Love that piece, Thomas.
It's so funny because I want to commit it to memory. The title is I Remember, and like I can't.
Can't remember.
Well, it's a difficult piece, man. Like there's a lot of like interweave like rhyme schemes and just like it's a lot, right? But when I nail it, man, I know when I memorize it too, I'll be able to get the performance down and just like that's gonna be a round three like finisher at any slam, like. So I really got to work on that piece. So thank you for indulging my behavior, as Beowulf would say. Um, let's
You're
keep
getting
rounds.
good, Thomas. I love it. You're really getting good with this. I'm
Oh,
so
thank
proud.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you, mama. All right, but yeah, coming up next then we got the host of the Monday night show, Chaos Magic, with KataLyst and Gustav. Gustav, if you could do me a favor, unmute yourself. Bless us with some words. Tell us how you feeling in the new place. You look happier, you look more
Yeah.
vibrant, you look yeah. Just tell us how you doing and then share some words with us, man.
The new place is going so well. I love it here. I'm so happy. Um, just really high ceilings, really high Gustav, really high happiness. Everything is good. Um, Tonight, in honor of International Women's Day, I'm going to read from another one of my favorite female poets, Ray Jane. This is from her book, Black Like That. This piece is called He Was in His Alt-Right Mind. For those lost like buffalo, a white supremacist went to market again to hunt black targets, but the story got misinterpreted as a racially motivated mass shooting because terrorism takes effort. Calculating black death takes work. For example, how many bullets make a food desert only supermarket in the community? We guess if you can't shoot them, at least starve the ones that got free. Just add them black bodies to the tally, like 10 dead, 3 injured, 3 in the parking lot, 9 in the market, 11 blacks, 2 whites. What a shopping list must look like to a terrorist. Oops, I think I said it again. A white supremacist went to market again to hunt black targets, but the story got misinterpreted, missing the mark. A reporter remarked on a black survivor's calm, the retelling again, distorted, eyes glazed and dancing off into the distance, face devoid of reaction, each word with a slight taste of disbelief. What is obvious has to be translated. If you don't look like me. Black trauma must be a different dimension of being. She was not calm. She was trauma in action, pre-grief, in the post-apocalyptic ictal state following the seizure that is white supremacist ideology. A white supremacist went to market again to hunt black targets, but the story got misinterpreted, called this uncaged beast crazy, tried to explain away the unchecked rage of hate often leads to black death via white rampage by design. He was in his alt-right mind. Powers that be reconditioning with everything to gain by shifting narratives, making every hate criminal crazy until it's tradition and the penalty is lawfully made null. Oh, wait, that's already possible. A white supremacist went to market again to hunt black targets, but the story got misinterpreted. Hunting must be every reason when concealing wickedness. There's always a reason. Psych! Just recalculating. 2 firearms purchased legally. 2 minutes we twitched while no siren blared. Watched, handcuffed madman handled with care. Enough! To make a target forget who's the threat here. A white supremacist went to market again to hunt black targets, but the story got misinterpreted. Why aren't politicians open in discussing white supremacists? But we know conflicted interests won't let the vicious demonize their kin when we might see them for what they've always been, the culprits. Feign horror. Each May, we go on counting. Black bodies blocked from budding. Bad spring. Then a white supremacist goes to market again. We, the targets, grow tired of pretending, smiling at day jobs while black lives keep ending. Soon, the bow won't tolerate no more bending. Soon, if our blood remains in the street, white supremacists might meet targets that won't turn the other cheek. Who will be past the point of reinterpreting? That's from Ray Jane's Black Like That. Fantastic book. Buy it.
Buy that book.
Buy that book.
Woo.
Love you all. Thank you.
Love you, Gustav.
Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing from Ray Jane's book too. We absolutely adore her and we love her. Buy that book, man. Like she's got a lot of good stuff in there. Um, yeah, coming up next, unless you got a second piece.
I got a little fragment of a Beastie Boys
do it
piece.
up, man.
I want to say a little something that's long overdue. The disrespect to women has got to be through. To all the mothers and sisters and lovers and friends, I want to offer my love and respect to the end. Thank you. I love you all. Happy International Women's Day.
Hey, yay.
Oh, that was sick.
All right, coming up next, then we got Dre. Soon to be, y'all gonna be catching them Saturdays once the job situation gets worked out. Once we get back on track, you know things been a little crazy in life for everybody, and yeah, we ain't quitting it. We just, we getting it reorganized and resituated. So until then, Dre, can you bless us with some words, brother?
Hey y'all, this is great to be back here. I just want to say real quick something I should have said in the initial round there. I just want to say thank you, Thomas and KataLyst, for providing this space for not just myself, but for every artist that's been able to bless this online stage. Because I feel like some people take this for granted, and I just want to reiterate the importance of having quite a space quite like this. So once again, thank you, Thomas and KataLyst, for providing us with such a sanctuary.
We do it for all y'all.
Now, with that said, I got a couple pieces for you, another pair. Some stuff I wrote last year. So I got 2 pieces, starting with this one. It's called Exterminator Flow, inspired by Dracula. I'm moving different. I'm moving like Oppenheimer, blasting away at nature's heroin needles in the dead heat of summer, employing the Grim Reaper full time in the work of pesticide genocide. I'm straight gas in a swift mist of death that doesn't miss. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. Mosquitoes, much like the syringes and needles, littering the streets of mill cities that act as class struggle foliage that never gets raked, or a constant reminder that you can't fix a problem by ignoring. West Nile, malaria, dengue, yellow fever, all of which can be prevented if we just kill them all off. Nobody, nor any creature on Earth would miss mosquitoes. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was Mother Nature's way of combating the human infection that has devastated and scarred the planet we call home. Perhaps disease was her immune system simply doing its job, acting as antibodies from humankind, preventing death with death, when initially Mother Nature fully intended to provide, and now she's decided to take the power back. If you were creating and providing force of nature and you somehow decided it was a great idea to put mosquitoes in the mix, as if disease wasn't enough, now you're like Red Bull, giving disease some wings. Sitting back and watching your troll game play itself out. Now, this is where I put my foot down in the name of every living land creature and make a mighty stand to rid the world of this parasitic menace. Yeah, I'm him, the one they've been talking about. I've killed dozens of mosquitoes, and I'll kill dozens more. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I'm him. I've always been him, and I always will be him. I took a blood test today, and the results came back that I am 100% Himalayan. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I am death incarnate. Heed my warning, mosquitoes. My extermination game is harder than James Harden's beard game. Falling so hard, you little bastards will think I'm a fucking nutsack. I'll kill you, you stupid pieces of shit. I have no sympathy for any mosquito. I live for this shit. You reach for my neck and I'll make an example out of you. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Your existence is an insult to God, and I'm doing God's work, attempting to abolish every last one of you. A crusade everyone can get behind. I live for this shit, but you won't when I'm done with you. So there's that poem. Now I want to close this off with an old fan favorite. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you fill me up with fulfillments when you're filling faceplants onto a field of my taste buds. Every time I have you inside my oral cavern, I cannot help but wants to crush you with my my teeth, and swallow you into my abyss while I enjoy feeling you disintegrate slowly under my pressure as I feel you slide all the way down to the pit of my being. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you perfectly, highly addictive, you perfectly legal drug. And yes, I said drug. Have you ever eaten one and not feel dopamine and serotonin flood every mini vessel in your being with the utmost sense of total nirvana? You are the Asian equivalents to Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. In life, there should be only two, count them, two universal defining periods. Life before and after accepting Crab Rangoon as your Lord, Savior, and demigod. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you miracle of life. If you were made in your original pure form, the pharmaceutical industry would cease to exist because you cure all. I'll never forget that one time I had that stomach ache, and you, crunchy exterior, and your cheesy, creamy, crabby holiness. You are the body of Christ. Your healing powers influenced me to start an underground street fighting club called Crab Rangoon Club. And let me tell you, the first rule of Crab Rangoon Club is that we definitely talk about Crab Rangoon. Oh, Crab Rangoon, the joy and despair of all, how they rewrote the history books on you. Oh, Crab Rangoon, every 80s power ballad and 70s adult film was inspired by you in some weird way by your rich sexual white chocolate. Oh, Crab Rangoon, I am a goon for you. Always have and always will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dre. I love that. Now you just made everybody in this
Woo!
room so
Crab
hungry for
Rangoon.
crab rangoon. Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Dre Reyes.
Woo! Yeah.
It's a classic.
Nice.
And coming back soon, we'll have the Slam Jam going on Saturdays. That was one of my favorite shows because you get I learned more in those few little episodes of it. I think we did it for a month or so, 4 or 5, and I've learned more in that than I did the last 5, 6 years of poetry. Because with the coaching and all that, like it's just such a great show. It's such an educational, informative show. Like it is beautiful. It's like you can have your poems critiqued, but you're also hearing other poets' poems critiqued. So you're like learning from like there's so much layers there, and it's a very great show, man. And we're excited to get it back on air. Take your time though, like I said, do you? We'll get it back up. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be around for you, ready for whenever you are. And speaking of which, someone who's always ready for when we are, or when you are, or when I am. I know this person's always there for me. My beautiful wife, KataLyst.
Got a little wardrobe change here. Switching from Thomas to KataLyst. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see all your beautiful faces. I love you all so very much. Your support has been everything during these times, like amazers. I'm like nervous talking about it. I'll write a poem or something maybe. So on Monday night I went to share a poem from this fella I met, Miles. So I read mine. I did mine and then a cover. So I'll do it again. They're not very long. So this one is called Crows for Miles. A clouder rolls in, stays for a while, hearing the cause, seeing the miles. We learn about color, direction, and truth. We absorb the knowledge deep into youth. The blackest of clouds watch over the bunch, while that popcorn is enjoyed. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So I wrote that one for him, and he's got 10 poems that I'll show later, but I got one so far. I'm going to collect the whole set. This is number 6. It's called Chainsaw. Icy mountain morning echoes in the air. Crows calling, warning. Wood chips spewing, echoes echoing in the morning air. Winter butterflies, magpies fluttering. Crows calling, trees falling, echoes echoing in the frosty morning air. And that's from Miles.
Give it up for KataLyst. Everybody unmute yourself.
Woo! Awesome. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! KataLyst, yeah.
KataLyst, that was great.
Crows for Miles.
All right, I'll give it back to Thomas. Thank you guys so much. I'll come
Love
back again.
you.
I have some more. I'll come back for round 3.
Mom loves you.
Love you too, Mama. We'll see you soon.
I love my wife. I truly do. And I love all of you as well. All right. So coming up next here, I'm like, should I pass KataLyst her coffee back? We've got Hayes Berry. Hayes, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I'd appreciate it, brother.
I'd love to. All right, I'm gonna do this one again. I haven't had a chance to revise this, but since you and KataLyst are able to make it here, I wanted to read this. Kind of a love poem to open minds. Let's see. I just updated it with a KataLyst quote, a new KataLyst quote. I got new KataLyst hotness in here. All right. This is called Gods Like Me. And it opens with an epigraph from KataLyst. We have ice cream behind our eyes. And I keep having this dream I'm going to wake everyone up at the wrong time. I got a family of wizards with bloody knuckles, razor blade scars on their thighs, a new manger for Christ stuck in a maze of M16 muzzle flashes, trying to climb up the eternal crossfire of a soldier fighting the war of the home. Got computer coders who can't open emails. Got Thomas still like a stone till it's your turn to rock, then Barnum and Bailey, and we are the lions, tigers, and bears. I got oracles to navigate the dark waters, one hand over the tea leaves in my hemlock. Got 2 a.m. unprompted Zoom calls and are you safe right now? Are you safe right now? Are you safe right now? What know thy comrades of the ink cold and swollen in the center of your photograph that you scribble over endlessly? I got ministers who forget the date but have a compass and crinkled map of who you were before memory. I got friends with grenade-tipped pens and chest tattoos. Can those who call you queen name a single curl of your afro? Have they any idea what the color of the blood was when your father slammed the door on your nose? Have they ever even asked? Do you even realize that you don't remember? Where were you when everything changed? And who was there to witness? Do you even know of your rat? How he gnaws eternally at the center of your portrait? Do you know of your lion who holds your throat, waiting patiently for you to die smiling, gurgling out your one true masterpiece? Do you even remember being a whale? For birds to slip from the tips of your sleeves? Do you know of the one with the blinding white lantern fixed above his brow, or what grief fuels it? I know you don't know poets, son. Couldn't dream of what we have. You cannot bark like us. You cannot linger. You cannot escape. You cannot be held captive like we can. For you, it's all the price is right. Spin the wheel, curl into a ball. I got bloodkins say I ain't worth a phone call. Got a new crew, and see if you got a couch. And do you need someone to sleep on it to make sure these lemons and slim pickings in the kitchen don't deal you a new jest with a knife in moonlight? You don't know we bound from Chattanooga, Chicago, Charlotte, and Houston, Canada, the North Pole, Mars, the moon, Andromeda too. You got gods like these with 45s and 40s, blunts and blunt instruments, phone calls or silence, just violent presence against whatever seeks to harm you, including you. You got gods like this? Say you know Jesus, but what's his accent? Do we talk too long? Do we get the McDouble with cheese? French fries or tater tots? Has Muhammad ever cooked you chicken and rice in high heels? Do your ghost stories talk back to you? Do you know anyone who speaks dream? I pity all your footsteps unheralded, unheld, untrumpeted. You're not brought in on chariots with all of us swinging from chandeliers, and you deserve to be, but you don't know the gods like me. You don't know the gods I know.
Yo, that was fucking amazing. Thank you for that.
Thank y'all, man.
Yeah, I like that. That was good. Thank you.
I appreciate that. That was deep, man. We got another piece for this?
Let's see. Sure. I got this little thing that I sent off and it got declined from a magazine and it broke my heart. And I didn't submit anything for years, which is my typical pattern. So let's see. This is called new in the old way. The dawn, uninspired and uninterested, drifts along the coastline, clutches its satellites, the dew, the frost. At some point, the interest in shouldering the cornea of each artist became passé. It cocoons itself in the marsh, the riverbeds churning with the orgy of mosquitoes, snakes, tadpoles, the frogs enamored with the huge oxygen in their bodies, waiting to become giant, water moccasins slipping through tributaries, footnotes of the ocean for the undecipherable table of contents. The mist-salved bark slides off weeping willows, which ponder the canopy as they float downstream. All become new in the old way. The mystery prevails, we might say. Why does the sun follow the night after all this time? Why not meander someplace further into space? Is memory not so exhausted with all this filing? Is time happy to careen endlessly towards some notion of completion? What will you do when you get there? Imagine the red ribbon tied from tree trunk to lamppost, the proud parents wondering if the babysitter lied about her age, all this rushing and rushing and rushing. Wouldn't it be better to sit a while, ponder the cradle of diverging limbs in the maple tree? The grown-ups are all around thinking it's drugs or ideas, drugs or ideas, drugs or ideas, drugs or all become new in the old way. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Hazeberry.
Yeah, Hayes, right on. Yeah.
I love that tribute to Open Minds piece, man. Thank you for that, man. That was dope. And once again, man, thank you for all your generous donations. We wouldn't be where we're at right now, literally, geographically, if it wasn't for you, man. So,
Glad
uh,
to hear.
we really appreciate you, buddy. Um, Coming up next, we've got my man Zach Manny. Zach, if you can unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna give you something random. I'm just gonna flip open my notebook
All right.
and see what I get.
Spinning.
Hmm?
Spinning.
Ooh, I'd have to try and search for that. I
Oh,
just
so
got a
you,
notebook. I can't.
you have a notebook.
Yeah.
Okay, so a
Yeah.
random page. Here, go
Mhm.
like this, and I'll say stop. Start flicking. Stop.
That page wanted to be there.
All right, yeah, I wanted to hang a bit. It was there you go.
Engaging in equilibrium eloquently, yesterday's yearning of yonder receding, granting gallantly strides generously, uniting untimely manifestations, sentient and solemn, spending the hours scratching my brain, attempting to jolt the Frankenstein machine back to life, collected pieces sewn together, and they don't match, and it's something I'm glad for.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Oh, that's dope. I
Yeah.
love doing that where he randomly flips and it's like stop.
Like,
It's fun, man.
all of your endings are so fascinating to me because they strike me and I like want more and then I realize it's complete.
Yeah, at the same time, right? It's like I want I
As it's like,
want this ending that's always been there.
yeah, it's completion
Interesting.
leaves me with this dissonance and this kind of anticipation. I don't know, I keep noticing. I really, really appreciate that about your poetry.
Thank
Really,
you. Thank you. It's one of those things I always feel like I need more from the ending, but that last line always it's like it's done though, you know. I
Yeah,
always have
yeah.
that same sensation
It's done.
myself writing it,
Yeah.
you know. Hmm. Hmm.
That's awesome that you could pull that off, man.
nice.
Leave them wanting more, but at the same time, no, like satisfying them, like
Hmm.
an ending. Like that's amazing. You got another piece for us, man? We can do a little flip.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. And this time, Sophia, you're up next. So if you could say stop when he's flipping, he'll read whatever poem he lands on. Leaving it up to you, homie. You got this?
Stop.
There's a ghost who lives at rock bottom. Eye to eye, heart to heart, we greet each other plentifully, storming castles of yesterday while looting for the future. Our feet tread the same path, however mirrored they may be. Theirs continues down exponentially, as contradictory as it may seem, mine forever upwards. Unlike our friend Sisyphus, we gain momentum and then keep it. The boulder is not at my hands or shoulders. Atlas has my heart, and it rests upon no shoulder. Sunken through my chest, driving forward, greeting rock bottom once again, always it reverts me back home above ground.
Yo, I love that you chose that, and that my boy Atlas is here. Motherfucker, should and you had that Atlas shout out in there, and he looks tired. He looks like he's been standing on stage doing making people laugh or something. Is that where you coming from? Making fucking people laugh or something? All right, hey, my boy, since you missed the first round, I'm gonna slide you in here in the round two because everyone here is read before. So if you can unmute yourself and bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it. You down? Yeah. Get your hair fixed. You got time. We wait a minute for you.
Oh, you're talking to me. In the roll call,
Yeah.
it says that there's like 2 people before
I
me.
I know, but you was like, didn't they already read? And I said, well, if you gotta go, like I could throw you in.
No, I know. I was just curious if the people who are
Oh,
sharing have already. I'm like trying to
oh
get
yeah, you
caught up
missed.
in the evening.
Oh yeah, oh you missed a whole bunch of beautiful poetry. So
I don't. Sometimes your mic gets like super crowded, and so I don't know if these are people who trickled
yeah.
in or what's going on.
Well, it is. It's been kind of a rotating cast of, degenerate squares is what I like to call us.
I look tired. Thank you. I'll change my lighting to rested. Is that a feature?
Oh
Like
fuck,
the
I love
greatest
you, man.
compliment ever. You look tired. You look like life has overwhelmed you. You look like you got exhausted getting out of bed
Well,
today.
it would have been a cool cutover because he just shouted out Atlas in that last poem.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's got it. My boy came through finally. But yeah, if you don't mind waiting, there's actually 3 poets in front of you instead of 2. So we're gonna go ahead and keep him on the slot because he said he's not
Okay.
tired. He just proved to us all that he's ready to listen to some poetry. So, and he's got some words for us too later. Yeah. So coming up next then would be Sophia Falco. Sophia, if if you could introduce yourself and then spit us some words, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm a poet. My 4th book is forthcoming soon. There's been delay in publication and stuff, but very pumped. It's titled If My Hands Were Birds, a poem. It's an epic poem to be published with Uncollected Press. It won award, and 3 excerpts have been published by Moonstone, various anthologies and stuff. And yeah, and a Master of Fine Arts student, and I just love poetry. And yeah, so we'll get to it. International Women's Day. So on the fly, I chose 2 poems. I think I'll do a cover, but I'll read mine first. So here we go. So it's on my screen. To clarify, Maya is my mother figure, who means so much to me. So, okay. 2 birds flew for Maya. 2 birds flew away in the deep orange hue, their silhouettes a salute to the sunset. I may have met my match. I embody one, Maya the other, us flying into the beyond as they became smaller and smaller as I'm squinting until they're no more, but knowingly they exist. Perhaps the flight not smoothly gliding, perhaps turbulence.
perhaps trying to find a place to land before nightfall. 4 wings, 4 eyes, 4 feet, and then I remember where I am, alone, missing you and your embrace, far from you, and you don't get to experience this view. I think of you often. I want to hold your hands to fill this emptiness in order to restore a sense of justice, that there's something pure in this world. You think of me that way, you see, and the image of myself I see sometimes is distorted, like through a cracked bathroom mirror. And I must figure out this forward trajectory for the future. With your guiding voice and belief, you will not go away and will not falter and continue to soar to new heights with me. We will go through it and out of it together. I know, even though miles away, you'll catch me in your loving embrace. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sophia.
I have one more. I think I'll read the one I wrote. The other one was a song, but I don't sing. I would just read it. So I'll read what I wrote. This one's ours for Maya. 1, knowing my tears were trapped droplets, not born into existence. Unlike me, she placed the tangible on top of the intangible, performing the impossible, lending a helping hand to me, allowing me to wrap my head around it while I had to wrap my writing hand with athletic tape to cover up injured blood vessels. Another joke, you're a tree puncher, not a tree hugger, not seeing the reasons why I hit the trees, not deserving of this damage. So damn hard. 2, deep sorrow grew downwards like the roots of the weeping willow tree. Then this tree no longer a tree, instead with fragmented branches, falling into the river, becoming driftwood without making a splash. Whereas we got our feet wet into the unknown, the answer became closer together in such a finite and an infinite dose of time. I used to fear closeness. She who saw all of me taught me these possibilities, like the first pepper grown in outer space. 3, she would twirl, swirl her love heat as I chopped up the jalapenos, our time together, timeless, unlike a shooting star. Burning up my heart, she asked me, what's wrong? As she saw through the facade of this exterior, of the outline of this body, the outline of these eyes, it was her who saw the tears that were guarded for many years. This connection of our heart spaces bridged together like a swirling of yellow butterflies going upward, flying. Thank you.
Wow. You have a way of just expressing how in such a beautiful and like visceral, endearing way. Everybody, please unmute yourselves and give it up for Sophia Falco.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the If My Hands Were Off.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sophia.
Awesome. Thanks.
Alright, so coming up next, we got Debbie Segal. Debbie, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. So I also went to school to be a poet, but I never got my motherfucking artist. I just went for the BA, and that was all good. And that was a long time ago when we were in the school of poetry known as language poetry. So I've tried to be able to write narrative poetry later in life, but I'm going to read a couple of languagey pieces because I think you guys reacted well to them one time when I did some languagey stuff. I'll do a couple of languagey things. And this one is, I don't really celebrate Women's Month, Women's Day or whatever it is. So there you have it. This is, I celebrate shadow, the shadow. So here's one called Shadow Path. Live alone in the dark years, fill up the absence pit. No fish in this water. Human child raised by coyote, always cold. Sleep in the sunlight, awaken at night. Under cypress and spruce. Turn on a gaslight, Mother Goose. Uphill and downhill, this creek runs dry. And this one, okay, so Frogg was helping me with, I was trying to do this really difficult type of poem called a sestina, which I thought I had mastered. And I showed it to Frogg, and he was able to very gently and graciously tell me that I hadn't mastered it. So I'm like, that is just a form that they have in the world to just frustrate poets. So what I did was I took the language in it and decided to make it just a normal poem like I usually do with like couplets. So Frogg, this is what I ended up with. And it's called Disintegrate the Universe and Integrate the Obverse. Drums announcing future dawns, dread of death, of space. A hand throws the coins. As suns contract, light refracts on placid rainbow slopes. Mutants dance, madness deals the games, and reptiles preying on rodent husks, scarlet bosoms, burning thin blue skin, a left-hand moon drawn with icicles falling free. Coins thrown in a basket, 1,000 wily smiles, focusing on secret names. Chemical winds blast the feathers off birds. Machines bleep, obsolete, over moss-covered walls. On a mountain, a radiant question marks the dark. This is different. Fingers feel for dead canaries. The last dream dawns. The world, a game played by the wind. Thanks.
Thank you. Everybody, unmute yourself and give it up for
Ooh,
Debbie.
Debbie. What?
Thank you, Debbie. Oh, that was so good. Love hearing you.
And I love this shout out to Frogg too, cause he's helped me with some poems, man. And Frogg, you know your shit, bro. You ain't no joke. And when you give us this inspiration and these like critical, like real critical feedback, well, you gutted me on one of them, but then I seen it and I was like, man, this man knows what he's talking about. And so thank you for giving us help and support. And yeah, thank you for being you, Frogg. We love you. And Debbie, thank you for being you. And thank you for reaching out to Frogg with that poem. That came out fire with that. Yeah, look at yeah. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Um Teresa, I don't get envious or anything, but man, I wish I was down with you in the islands there. 'Cause boy, it's been cold up here. I'm a Florida boy. It's been cold up here.
Well, I hope it gets warm in June because I'm coming to your country.
Oh, well, my birthday's June, so we gonna have to talk and meet up.
Yeah, we need to talk because I have no clue where you are. I may not be coming to your part though. I'm coming
Yeah.
into Alberta.
Well, that we'll be there probably by June or maybe past it. We'll see. See how the
We'll talk
universe
then.
works. Yeah, we'll see
We'll
how the
have to talk.
universe works. Yeah, if you could bless us with some words, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Okay. I'm going to read a poem from Love Is by Josh Smalls and Samuel Rain, aka Complicated Passions. Their book just dropped. Okay. This particular one is by Josh Smalls. I want to call your name, whisper your favorite love song while kissing your softness. I want you to teach me how to love, show me the way to your river. I want to learn your waterfall, every medium your heartbeat has to journey. Scale these hands against your melody. I want to dance to your fragrance, watch the moonlight sparkle in your eyes. I know this is a long shot. Maybe it's just a dream I will never know. However, wanting you has mastered my secrets, finding its way from my voice to your heartbeat. Some things shall remain a mystery. The one thing will forever be true, me wanting you. And that's from their new book that just dropped called Love Is.
Boy, yourself is my boy right
Woo,
there. Oh,
nice,
he's
nice,
so
nice,
sweet. What is
nice,
what does Elemental say about
beautiful.
him? He
Yeah,
cooler than the other side of the pillow.
yeah, that's Love Is. Josh Smalls and Samuel Rain, aka Complicated Passions. Yeah, it's pretty lyrical. I'm almost through it. Okay, and I'm going to read one more piece of mine from my book, Come Egypt. So I'm hoping that some of you might consider looking into that.
Yeah, make sure we drop a link too for you there.
Okay, this one is called, and to follow that, Scream into the Silence. I wrote this while floating down the Nile River. Entwined in the sound of your voice, I am trapped. I hug a tree for life and try not to drown in your hole. My body tries to take leave of you. My mind and soul do not want to let go. I breathe out and flowers bloom around me. You ambushed me with a sound floating from your tongue. A soothing speakeasy manipulates my senses. Your cold tracks linger in my brain. Word slayer, songs of remembering play in my head. I run through the catacombs of time. You flirt ahead of me just far enough to keep me chasing your light, lifetime after lifetime. Thoughts of you become a benediction, and winter feels long in the desert as you dance in the sand and against the blue nautical sky. My heart skips a beat with each breath. I scream into the silence. That's from Come Egypt. This is my
Yeah,
proof,
That was
definitely want to get that
fucking,
book. Woo,
my
yeah,
proof
make sure,
copy.
beautiful.
My
yeah,
proof
oh, the
copy.
cover art too is beautiful.
You just got my proof copy today. I'm really excited about this book. But I'll drop information in the chat, and also my IG. Hopefully, some of y'all have decided. Some of you all already have followed me. I hope some more of you will. So I'll drop my IG too. Thank you.
So thank you, and everybody make sure that you buy that book, because I remember the first time I heard one of your poems, Teresa. I sent you a message. I was just like, I love you. Can you please come through on Friday so I can hear more of you? And you did, and you did the Heart of the Artist interview, which is amazing. Y'all need to check out Heart of the Artist. Yeah, it's just beautiful stuff. We absolutely adore you. Coming up next up, we've got my boy Atlas, looking fresh, taped up, cleaned up. Boy, pull his hair back in the thing. He looking so prim and pretty. Hey, I love you, brother. If you could share some words with us, man, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you for making up for the whole other intro. My friend Atlas, he looks like he hasn't slept in 2 days. He's looking malnourished. I could smell that he hasn't showered all the way from here. I'm in a different country entirely. Thank you. Thank you for not giving me that intro, because it's so sweet. It's nice. It's just nice to be back on these mics. I've been really, I don't like the word busy, because people say they've been busy and they haven't, like they're just like, I've been like, no one's gonna say I've been watching like 7 years worth of television in the last 4 days. They're gonna say I've been busy, right? Um, so so some sad news. Last time I was on here, I think I shared a piece about trying to help someone who was diagnosed with cancer realize that there's still life to be lived. And I did. I went out to Dallas and spent some time with him for over a week and did everything I could just to, sort of make amends and get the conversations out so that there was no ill will, no negative energy. which I think is obviously just as detrimental to your health, because where the mind goes, the body follows. And yeah, so that was great, because had I not seized that opportunity, unfortunately, a week after, he ended up passing away. So here, I have written a few things. One is when from different perspectives. So one is when the older person is limited on what to say before they end up passing away. One is in the moment where you're trying to preserve the day, and the one I wrote more recently was for the person who's still here, those lingering thoughts, the things that they wanted to say. So I ended up writing a trilogy, so to speak. The more recent one is the latter one for the people who are still here and felt like they didn't say what they needed to. So just give me 1 second and I will pull it up for you. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't have this readily accessible. I really apologize.
Bro, I would wait 1,000 years for you. You know that. I love you, man.
Hold on. So, oh, here we go. Okay, what I wanted to say. Oh, this is better. Yes. Some nights I struggle. I just can't fall asleep. Feels like I'm drowning in sadness, and the water's too deep. My mind keeps on racing. My thoughts are all scattered. I get so little done and feel like none of it mattered. I try to cheer myself up, but it doesn't do any good. And when I talk to others, I still feel misunderstood. Alcohol seems pointless. Why waste money on drugs? But I would give anything for one more of your hugs. Sometimes I can't help but think about how you're gone. I know I shouldn't dwell, enjoy my life, and move on. But in a cruel twist of fate, most of the thoughts in my head are all the things I wanted to tell you, but somehow never said. Minutes turn into an hour, hours turn into a day, but all those seconds feel like forever when you struggle to find what to say. It's not for lack of desire or hesitance or doubt. It's the struggle in deciding which words to let out. I miss the sound of your voice. You would have answered my call. But anxiety took hold of me, and so I said nothing at all. I know you would never want to see me upset. So this message to you is to free me from regret. I realize now that I stand nothing to gain by making myself suffer and holding in all this pain. If only I knew that would be our final day. I've thought about it a lot. Here's what I would say. I would tell you I'm grateful that you even existed. No matter your troubles, you stood strong and persisted. You showed me true kindness. You offered me love. By doing so, you proved to me what good people are capable of. But all those good-natured people are becoming harder to find. Without you here to guide me, I feel like I'm going blind. Your sight, guided by your vision, displayed the world so beautifully, like your incredible ability to always see the good in me. The world seems to be colder without the warmth of your heart. Everyone is so lonely, but they spend so much time apart. I try to show compassion, to stand out from the crowd, because I miss you so badly and just want you to be proud of the person I've become, the child that you helped raise. But my joys feel so fleeting, and my path feels more like a maze. It isn't too much trouble. If you have time to spare, can you share some perspective from your view way up there? Can you just remind me somehow that all my problems are small? Can God give you permission to just make a quick call? My phone feels so useless, seems like it never rings, and my hearing is wasted in a world where no one wants to sing. When I need to be still, when the world moves too fast, I close my eyes and remember all the treasures of our past, the conversations, the laughs, the meals that you served. I do my best to make sure all those memories are preserved. As much as I love you, I do have to confess, when I look back on our moments, it feels like they're less. I still have all the photos, the cards and letters you've written, and I still have stored away anything I was given. But those are the small things, stuff you can see and touch compared to being beside you. They don't mean very much. I feel both joy and pain when I start reminiscing because I can't help but focus on what my life is missing. I think I found a solution to free me from this sorrow. Rather than see you as my past, I'll bring you with me to tomorrow. As a way to brighten my future and no longer fear it, I'll take all that you've taught me so that you're there in spirit. Look, the gray skies have parted. Now here comes the sun. I love you and thank you for all that you've done.
Woo! Yeah, that was really beautiful.
Thank you for all that you've done, Atlas. And that's not just for me. Thank you for all you've done for me and my wife, but thank you for all you've done for
those that
just,
can't say thank you, thank
yeah,
you.
for all those people that you've
Thank you. We
affected in a
love you.
positive way, man. We love and just respect what you're out there doing, man. And if y'all don't know, y'all need to recognize Alice. If you could drop your link tree or something, so people here that don't know what you're doing could link up with what you're doing. We'd appreciate it. Speaking about people doing things, there you go, bad. Check it out, man. Alice, I fucking love you, bro. Thanks for coming through tonight. Um, coming up next, we got this fucking thing got stuck on my boot. I walked in the room, and what did I do? I tried to shoo it away, but it left, even though it was already dead. This frog just limped on in, is all he said. Go ahead and bless us with some words, frog.
Snake of the garden, devouring carpenter, constricted to Leviathan's reign, consuming larder along lotus waters, feeding behemoths, raging a shepherd of sheep, a whoremonger of holy, breaking Peter's hands as he prayed, by Vatican law signaling all, with the fifth seal broken, to conquer I came. Augustine dead, Tiberian praise, sending Jesuit at Carnivorous grave, a kingdom of men. Henry, I'm nailed right in, an impenitent thief for none saved. Forgiveness unsought, swallow your water, no God's rest where we hang. I walk from the cross, denying you all, of Z's my choice to be maimed. Feast and feast on coins received, placed for that Stygian gaze, as Romans do, assemble thine troops, as legionnaires kill in Christ's name. Fuck thy king, and fuck thy God. To hell go the lot of you. Hungering need for more you'll dream, engorged on a lie that's worth more than a truth. In your name we pray, Amen Ra. Esse opertet ut vivas, non vivere ut etas Cicero. Pope Innocent XI, guilty of fault.
Fucking my boy with the Latin in this motherfucker. Yeah, he just blew Debbie's mind, bro. That's what mine's about. Poof. Yeah, we just
Wow.
watched Debbie's mind get blown.
I know. That is just such a pleasure to listen to.
Yeah, I fucking love her. You got another one for us, bro?
Yeah, I get you. Quick. All right, what am I going to land on? Russian roulette, Russian roulette, Russian roulette, click, 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 die. I took to the fragrance of honeysuckles as ember wreaths of smoke crept upon mine visage, a clasping throat I choked, caught within its cloud, consumed in poison pollens, beating sweat and panted breath, nightfalls dim on owry watchers, filling distant steps without you, whilst clinging to this path, dodging trees from the shades I see who'll be chasing ye thereafter. A nightmare sky star-crossed up. I couldn't herald out these words, to muster up my legions, to fight with heart for yours. So I took heed within my mind, and devoured with lasting might, to give my dying breath, to breathe us back to life. I ran from ghosts of shaken trees to reach for you, my darling. Though darkness grows, I sure do know that your love is now my calling. The thought of you so far away haunts my chambered breath. And take my hand into the woods we'll go, striding from endless nothing. And into the woods we're going. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Unmute yourself and give it up for Frogg Corpse.
Wow. That was awesome.
No words. Were you reading in
Awesome.
Latin or something? Like, what
Yeah,
was
he
that?
busted out some
Oh my
Latin in there.
God.
Yeah.
It's
Like his writing style is out of this world, man. Like out of this earth, out of this whole universe, out of, it's like asteroid hits. Like every line is like an asteroid hit, and I love that. One love.
Definitely, Frog. And again, thanks for like the mentorship and any tips. It's like you've blessed Debbie with, you've blessed me with, you've blessed anyone else in this room with, man. Like your knowledge bank is wonderful, and I just love your style and the amount of knowledge you know about words and
Well, now we're talking about not only his knowledge, but what I was talking to him about, he didn't have knowledge of. He was able to like
oh, he
literally
was freestyling all the dope.
no,
Yeah,
no,
just
he freestyled knowledge like it was a
yeah. It's
really
just it was a
difficult
conduit.
style. And he went, that difficult style that I don't know how to do, like you kind of don't really know how to do either. And I'm just sort of seeing it for the first time, seeing
Yeah.
you don't really know how to do it. So it wasn't like the style that he
So
was
yeah,
well
it's not even
versed
your
in.
knowledge, Frog.
Yeah.
It's your intuition, your mind's eye. You know what I'm saying? The way you gaze upon this universe makes us all better. Straight up. Appreciate it, man. We love you. Coming up next, we got my brother Zomkhonto. Hey, I might be seeing you sooner than later because we thought we was gonna go down to the States. We got bounced at the border. We're gonna cross now Canada, spend a little bit in BC, and then cross Canada. So we'll be in Toronto probably this summer. So we're gonna be seeing you sooner. We was gonna go the other way, but now we
Yeah,
just going
I'm
this
at
way.
I'm in Toronto, March 27th at the Youth Justice Summit. So if you just happen to come around, that'll be amazing. Oh, such beautiful poetry from Atlas and Frogg Corpse. That was amazing. Oh my. So grateful for the both of you. I was kind of lost as to what I should do, but I'll start with this strange one. Okay. I am a fascinating trinity of sailor, ship, and sea. But none of these three would ever make it to shore if you didn't become a lighthouse for me. Whichever I am on any given spectrum, I need you to light my way. When I have been the sailor, the sea rose from its mother's womb like Poseidon, and its trident waved its middle finger of a tidal wave threateningly. When I was the ship, icebergs laughed an icy laugh that had my mast frozen immediately. When I was the sea, I was angry at everything floating on the surface, so I waved goodbye to so many people that in their drowning, I kissed them with salty tears that they can no longer remember because of how much grief stung their wounds. But all I ever needed was a lighthouse. I did not care if the lighthouse keeper was asleep at odd times. I only needed a light that bounces on the water like it is allergic to it, closing its nose to the stench of the waves until it reaches me right here. I am a fascinating trinity of sailor, ship, and sea. My grandmother said, sail the seas with your eyes open. This woman had never seen the sea in her life, but somehow she knew a thing or two about sailors. She said, my grandbaby, if the sea talks rough to you, talk back. And keep darting your eyes far and wide to look out for your savior of Lighthouse. But she was quiet about the ship inside of me because she had seen one slave ship too many. Yet she didn't hold back on her views about the sea and its ways. She said whenever its waters touch the shore, a lighthouse has been there to save the day. So baby, be my lighthouse. My grandmother is a lighthouse. And me being me as a child, I would make paper ships, drive them towards the shores of her chest so she can prove that the light that basked inside of her stood on a hill that was best friends with the sea. She thought it was funny until one of those paper ships gave her paper cuts that hurt until this day. Because a lighthouse can't hide the light from its eyes. Loving me is to be a lighthouse, to sit there and observe me, sailor, ship, and sea, as the turbulent waves raise their tridents and as Poseidon feels the intrusion. I am easy to love in the night when the sea is turbulent. I am easy to love in the night when the ship is unsteady. I am easy to love in the night when the sailor is losing sleep. So be my lighthouse and shine your light on me.
Bro. So you got a writer's pen that is as delicate as a painter's paintbrush, and I can like when you write words and you perform them, like it's like a fucking painting. I could see the entire picture. I could feel all of the emotions. Like your writer's pen is like a painter's brush. Like straight up, bro. Straight up, man.
Thank you so much.
Everybody unmute yourself and give it up for Zomkhonto. And if you have another piece for us, I'll
Oh
grab it.
yeah. Let me throw something else. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. Way back when the beatbox was detox and sound traveled miles ahead of the slow showdown at speed bumps. Several eons beyond the toxicity of stop signs, when ghetto women had no insignia on their chest to tell abusers to just stop. Stop. before people would whistle softly to lead you to a successful drug deal. And when it failed, the president held a loudspeaker to assure drug dealers that crack cocaine will soon reach all of you niggas. And say no to drugs. Way back when sound shot past the green light and played acupuncture to the unhealed parts of the body, when needles whose sharpest points were louder than all cancers, it flowed way past the ember, way back when cowrie shells on the ankles of dancers were amplified so loud their sopranos drowned the loud cracking of the bones connected to their Achilles heel. Red. And when the president was asked about those heels, he threw socks in the crowd and said out loud, "This is politics!" Amplified. Wear the socks and hope the shoe fits. I remember pretending that I was deaf, just to decide if I was better blind or having no clue of sound, which would better help me ignore the scream from the so-called American dream, which is louder, that dream or the American nightmare. My grandfather's cane was a few taps loud enough to make my drunk father realize his neighbors had a funeral procession just yesterday, and that it is not right for him to just blast his favorite songs, amplified, as if no one next door had just died. Zomkhonto.
Holy fucking shit, bro. I love you, brother. You out there
What a
doing
I
it.
nice
love you
Friday
too.
Like,
night. Woo.
holy shit. What a wonderful way
Yeah.
to end the show up. We're going to continue with a round three, but off the record. Everybody, before we do that, give all the love you have for Zomkhonto.
Woo. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing. Oh, it was wonderful. Wonderful Friday night. Thank you.
Awesome game. One love.
Beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff. Trying to find the stop recording button, man.